Tell the most amazing stat I've heard all year. What was it?
Nobody scores more points in the first half than the Seahawks, and nobody scores fewer in the entire NFL in the second half than the Seahawks.
It's the craziest thing I've ever heard. But one of the reasons why they're so inconsistent, Randy, is their defense just can't stop anybody. They're ranked 32nd in the league, and how the heck do you expect to not be in the basement of that great division if you're 32nd in the league in defense?
Yeah, and they're not creating turnovers in the way that, sometimes you'll say, oh, turnovers, that's got to be DBs and linebackers. Well, guess what? You affect the passer. Stuff that doesn't show up maybe in sacks, but pressure around the quarterback, hits on the quarterback. Maybe it's a sack fumble, Tedy, but oftentimes if you watch the interception reel from each week of the NFL, a lot of the time it's a defensive lineman or a pass rusher or a blitzer getting home and making that quarterback feel uncomfortable. And Pete Carroll had a saying when I played for him there in Seattle, it's all about getting the football. And that's something that the Seahawks defense has not been able to do on third down or really on any down. They haven't done that very well this year.
And how about what Jimmy Garoppolo's done? I mean, we all eyes on Jimmy, right? Yes. How much to Trey are we going to see? I mean, we're hardly seeing Trey at all. And it's because I think Jimmy is showing them he's got that extra motivation. All right, you want to draft someone number 3 overall? I'm going to go out there and play. I wanted to see that from Jimmy last week. That last drive, all right? He's taking them down the field, Ponder. I mean, it's like, you got to do this to win the football game. He just left Aaron Rodgers 37 seconds. And that's unfortunate. But I got to give props to Garoppolo on how he's holding on to this job, and that team is rallying around him and wanting to see him do well.
You know, you're talking about last week's performance was a great performance to see coming from the San Francisco 49ers. They're going to need another effort like that this week going against a team with their back against the wall, the Seattle Seahawks. Matt, and y'all were talking about, Rex, you were talking about the defense. It's unfortunate the way that Bobby Wagner is playing, the middle linebacker for the Seattle Seahawks. I think he's leading the National Football League in tackles. It's just a shame that you're 32nd in the league, but he's playing lights out.
Right.
But let me get back to the 49ers with you, Brew. You know, we've been talking about this two-headed monster with Garoppolo and Trey Lance. We talked earlier in the show. That's a big problem and a big concern in San Francisco for me. And last week at the Monday night game, that Sunday night game, I thought that Trey Lance came in right before the half and gave that team a spark. But guess what? You didn't see Trey Lance too much for the rest of the second half. So we were talking about the quarterback controversy match, Chicago opposed to the one in San Francisco. I think the one in San Francisco is a real quarterback controversy. And the reason why, because you're talking about the third overall pick and what he brings to the table.
You got to expand that role.
When he came in and energized that team, energized that stadium with just his leg play, I think that's something to stand on.
Yeah, and I believe they're doing a great job in San Francisco of how they're developing. As they're winning games, they're developing their young quarterback, Trey Lance. He is in primarily in red zone packages and short yardage packages.
Do you think that's going to expand?
I really do. I really do. It's walk before you can run, okay? Like when you show that you're doing well with this, we're going to expand your territory. We're going to give you more.
Okay.
And when you see Kyle Shanahan with that big call sheet, there are sections on there for Trey Lance. And before the game, the night before, they say, hey, Trey, we don't want you to know this whole thing, kinda. We want you to really, really, really know this, this, and this. And I believe that for a young quarterback allows him to go play free. And that's part of the reason that when he gets in the game, the stadium's excited, the teammates are excited, the coaches are excited. Because they know not only does he know what to do, they know that he's talented enough to go
Matt,
do it.
I got a question for you. Like, how different is this than when Colin Kaepernick came in with Alex Smith? Is it a similar type role? And you're talking about we're going to see more of this guy as it goes. And ironically, it's in San Francisco again. But remember when that happened? You know, you have a really good, solid quarterback in Alex Smith, and then they gave this exciting young player a certain role, and it expanded and kept
And I'll say this, I mean, as much
expanding.
as I love what I just said about Jimmy, there's still those plays where he, a little bit of a panic, you throw it backwards and there's a fumble. So do they expand Trey? I want to see that today.
Yeah, they're looking at different options, and I don't blame him, because if Kyle Shanahan's looking around the league at the other rookie quarterbacks, he's thinking, I don't want to do whatever they're doing. Let's play this slow and figure it out as we go.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming, sports, and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.